I just ran the numbers on a client's portfolio, 4.2 million in traditional IRAs, age 62, recently retired. If he does nothing, just lets those IRAs sit, he'll pay approximately 1.8 million in taxes over the course of his lifetime. If we execute a Roth conversion strategy over the next 10 years, he pays approximately 890,000. Same retirement, same spending, same portfolio, he could save approximately $910,000. Now, these figures are modeled using 2026 tax brackets, a 5% growth rate, and a longevity to age 95. Your results will be different and vary based off of your situation. And his kids could inherit the Roth portion tax-free. The difference between the two, timing, structure, and understanding the single most important tax window in your entire financial life. If you're between the age of 55 and 65 with more than 2 million in pre-tax retirement accounts, the next 15 minutes could be the most valuable tax education you receive this year. My name is Trent Grigorchik. Now let's break down the Roth conversion corridor and why most retirees completely miss it. The moment you retire, you enter a different phase. You're no longer accumulating, you're distributing from your accounts. And distribution is a tax coordination problem, not a tax deferral problem. Here's where it gets critical. Required minimum distributions begin at age 73 if you were born prior to 1960. If you were born in 1960 or later, RMDs start at age 75. The IRS doesn't care if you need the money. They want their cut. Okay, those RMDs are calculated as a percentage of your IRA balance based off of the prior ending year balance using the IRS Uniform Lifetime Tax Table. The bigger your IRA, the bigger your forced distribution is. At $3 million, a $3 million IRA at your RMD starting age, you're required to distribute approximately $113,000 to $116,000 that first year. And depending on whether you start at 73 or 75, a $5 million IRA, approximately $189,000 to $193,000. All right, those distributions are taxed as ordinary income, stacked on top of Social Security, pensions, rental income, and capital gains. Suddenly, you might potentially be 32%, 35% tax bracket. And those required distribution percentages increase as you age. By 80, the required distribution percentage is approximately 30% higher than your starting age. By 85, it's approximately 60 to 70% higher. You lose total control of your tax bracket for the rest of your life unless you act. Between retirement and your RMD starting age, whether it's 73 or 75, you have what I call the Roth conversion corridor. It's a narrow, high-value window where you control your income, engineer your bracket, and reset the tax trajectory of your retirement. And today, we're covering the mechanics of that conversion window, how to coordinate with IRMA, the liquidity requirements most people ignore, and how to decide between lifetime tax savings versus legacy planning, and the modeling framework that I use with clients that have 2 to 10 million in investable assets. So let's get this started with the window itself. So why 55 to 65? Because this is the only time in your life when you typically have near total control over your taxable income. Before retirement, your salary dominates. After RMDs start, 73 to 75, RMDs dominate. But in between, you can engineer your income. Let's say you retire at 60 with 3.5 million in traditional IRAs, 600K in a taxable brokerage account, 250K in cash. Social Security planned to be taken at 67. Born in 1964, so your RMDs wouldn't start until 75. From 60 to 74, you could take zero from your IRA if you choose. Live off of your brokerage account in cash, and your taxable income might only be 35K from maybe dividends and capital gains. That could place you in the 12% bracket. For 2026, the top of the 24% bracket for married filing jointly is approximately $401,000. These brackets adjust annually for inflation. And if you're sitting at $35,000 in income, That means you could potentially convert approximately 360K and stay in the 24% bracket. That's tax arbitrage. All right. So every dollar you convert now reduces future RMDs, reduces the likelihood of higher brackets later on, triggering IRMA surcharges, grows tax-free for life, can pass it to heirs tax-free, assuming the Roth 5-year rule has been met. At 75, your RMD on $3.5 million is approximately $135,000. Add Social Security, you're pushed into a higher bracket. By 80, your RMD percentage is higher still. And if your kids inherit a $2 million traditional IRA under the current tax law, non-spouse beneficiaries must generally liquidate it within 10 years. If they're single and earning 150K, that additional forced income can push them into the 35% bracket on the distributions. That's the cost of inaction and not planning. Now, it does get technical. You can't just convert to the top of the bracket. You must coordinate with IRMA. IRMA equals income-related monthly adjustment amount, is the Medicare premium surcharge tied to your modified adjusted gross income. And these are the cliffs, not gradual slopes. All right. So for 2026, IRMA thresholds for married filing jointly are listed here. These thresholds adjust periodically for inflation. If you cross one of these thresholds, your combined Medicare Part B and D surcharges can add approximately $1,148 per person annually in the first tier, increasing to right around $7,000 per person in the highest tier. For a couple, that first threshold crossing adds nearly $2,300 per year in surcharges. Now, and here's the critical detail. IRMA is based on your income from 2 years prior, which you might not have known. So your conversion decisions in 2026 affect your Medicare premiums in 2028. That means you need to model conversion amounts by year, Social Security timing, getting that right, along with your pension, realizing capital gains, and when you enroll in Medicare. Precision does matter with this type of planning. Staying just under the $218,000 threshold could save over $2,300 per year in surcharges for a couple. That's not guesswork. That's just scenario modeling. Here's what stops most people: liquidity. You decide to convert 150,000. Where does the 33,000, 36,000 tax payment come from? If you do withhold taxes from the conversion itself, you shrink the amount that reaches your Roth IRA. And if you're under age 59 and a half, the withheld portion may be treated as a distribution subject to a 10% early withdrawal penalty. The correct structure: convert the amount, pay the taxes from your taxable account or cash reserves. But that requires liquidity outside of your IRA. So if you plan to convert 120,000 per year for 5 years, you may need 130K to 150K or more in non-IRA assets to fund the federal and state taxes, depending on your bracket and your state. No liquidity? Well, build it first. Sell appreciated stocks and strategically harvest gains. Create the cash reserve. Liquidity is structural. It's not optional for Roth conversions. You're realizing this is more complex than just converting to the top of a bracket. You're right. This level of coordination I build for clients with 2 to 10 million or more in retirement assets. So if you want to see what a customized Roth conversion roadmap looks like for you in your specific situation, go to joinsecondact.com. It's linked in the first comment or in my profile, and book a discovery call. We'll model your scenarios, stress test assumptions, and build a strategy tailored to your numbers. Now, let's keep going. Conversions can serve two primary purposes, and clarity on your objective changes the strategy. Purpose number one: minimize your lifetime taxes. Convert maybe 22 to 24% today to avoid potentially paying 32 to 35% later when RMDs force higher distributions. Purpose number two: create a tax-free legacy. So if your children inherit a $2.5 million IRA under current law, Non-spouse beneficiaries generally must liquidate it within 10 years. If they're single and earning 180K, that added income can push them into the 35% marginal bracket on those distributions. Instead, you convert that IRA during your lifetime. You pay 24% now. They inherit the Roth IRA dollars that come out tax-free, assuming the 5-year rule has been met. Different objective, different strategy. You must decide which outcome you're optimizing for, or whether it's a combination of both. Here's the framework. Step 1, model your baseline. Map your projected taxable income from age 55 or whenever you retire to 95 or 90 with no conversions. Step number 2, run conversion scenarios, testing 75 per year, 75,000 per year, 120,000 per year, maybe filling up the 24% to 401,000 a year. Aggressive legacy conversion testing. Layer in IRMA coordination. Check where Roth conversions might trigger Medicare surcharges. Step 4, stress test assumptions. What if the market drops 30%? What if tax laws change? What if you live to age 100? What if you become a single filer if your spouse passes? Identify the optimal path based on your specific situation. Many clients with 3 million to 7 million in IRAs, optimal conversion amounts often range between 100,000 and 180,000 over a period of time around 7 to 12 years. But every situation is different. There's no universal cookie cutter approach. This is a framework, and it requires annual recalibration based on market performance, tax law changes, evolving circumstances, etc. Now, let me walk you through a planning scenario. Mark and Susan, both 61, born in 1965. So their RMD is age of 70. So their RMD age is 75. Assets equal 4.2 million in IRAs, 700K in taxable brokerage accounts, and 180K in cash. Their baseline projection with no conversions at 75, their projected RMD is approximately 162K. If you add Social Security, they're pushed into higher brackets for life. Projected lifetime federal tax is approximately 1.85 million. An optimized conversion strategy could be from 61 to 66 before Medicare, convert approximately 160K annually. Their other income is about 40,000 from dividends and gains, so their total MAGI approximately 200K. They stay in the 24% bracket with no IRMA exposure yet. Ages 67 to 74 on Medicare, Social Security, that started. Adjust conversions to approximately 95,000 annually to stay below the first IRMA threshold at 218,000. The total converted over 14 years, approximately 1.53 million. Traditional IRA balance at 75, approximately 2.67 million. Projected RMD at 75, approximately 103,000 instead of 162,000. And the projected lifetime federal tax is approximately 940,000, bringing us to a potential savings of approximately 910,000. And because they converted 1.53 million to their Roth, their heirs could save an additional several hundred thousand in taxes, same retirement, same lifestyle, different tax structure. These figures are illustrative and based on specific assumptions, including consistent tax brackets, 5% growth, and longevity to 95. Your results will be different and they will vary. Or within 10 years of your RMD starting age, or maybe 15 years, and sitting on a multi-million-dollar IRA, this window does matter. As you've seen, Roth conversions are not a side project. For affluent retirees, they represent one of the highest leverage tax planning strategies available, period. But they do require modeling, coordination, and annual recalibration. Go to joinsecondact.com and book a discovery call. We'll map your tax projection, test scenarios, and determine whether the strategy aligns with your goals. No pressure, just clarity around your numbers. The difference between a 2 million after-tax legacy and a 3.2 million after-tax legacy isn't luck. It's structure. And structure starts with understanding the window you're in. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you in the next one.